Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to be here around the Rotarians who are known for service. It's really a great honor for me to be here and around such a great, wonderful people, and that too, be part of this third chapter day night meeting for Rotary abilities. So it's a special feeling for me. So I really thank for board of directors and the people who took interest in inviting me. So that itself is a great pleasure. Okay, so what would you do if doctor comes to you and tells you your life is going to be in wheelchair from tomorrow onwards? It's not that easy, right? So 25 years back, my life was as normal as anybody. I had passed out from IIT Mumbai in aerospace engineering and had a very high dreams of going abroad. And company, a multinational company, had hired me to send me to US. In a couple of months, I should have been in US to California for a very long assignment. So I was thinking of crossing the 7 seas and reaching the land of dreams. The documents were getting processed and I would board a plane in a couple of months' time. As Napoleon Bonaparte says, there is no such thing as an accident. It is a fate misnamed. The destiny had its say in my life. In 1994, November, I fell from a great height, accidentally due to high fever. The injury was so serious, I was paralyzed from waist below, and I broke my right hand in multiple places. It was not just a fall from height, it was a fall from life. And sometimes I still remember when I woke up from hospital bed, I started wondering how come I did not die after falling from 40 feet high. Maybe I think I was lucky. God sent me back as there were no seats left in the heaven. I'm still recovering, and when doctor comes to me after 3 months and break the news that you are not going to walk in your life, I tell you better you get used to riding wheelchair, and I want to be straight with you. So it was such a difficult moment for me to accept. The whole world turned topsy-turvy. I was very difficult to accept that kind of situation. In a couple of months, I should have been US, and that too, passing out from IIT and having a stellar degree and going to have a wonderful career. But all of a sudden, you are asked to spend rest of your life in wheelchair. Is pretty difficult. And I went into severe depression. There was no way out. I was operated almost 17 times on my body. They took me 17 times to the operation theatre, and almost hundreds of injections were pushed to my body. And I gave up, in fact. I decided, okay, I even contemplated to end my life. But I realized I wasn't even fit enough even to end my life. So it was then I got a realization that when you hit rock bottom, the only way was to go up. There's no other way. This is what happened in my life. There was no other way. Only two choices, either to give up or keep going. So after harrowing stay of 2 years in the hospital, I took up a job in multinational company, Philips. And even multinational company was also we're not so sure how this guy is going to manage. So they said, let's not interview him because he is from IIT, so let's not interview. But we want to ensure whether he can manage and spend 8 hours in the job. So with this kind of uncertainties, my life started in wheelchair. But the next 2 years, it is like rising like a phoenix. I became a head of quality assurance and I became a senior manager. I was heading a quality assurance department with a group of 8 to 10 people who were reporting to me. At that time, there was an international quality certification which was coming, and I was selected to lead this initiative. It was one of the most coveted quality certification, and we got the quality certification, and I was recognized as an extraordinary contributor. And Netherlands asked me to come and make a presentation on how we achieved international certification. So now, I traveled to Netherlands. I might be in the wheelchair and talking to the group of 25 white guys dressed in black suits with confident grins on their faces. But it was I who took all their questions and told them what we had done in our company, which those guys in the headquarters couldn't do. Friends, what mattered at that time was my ability, not my disability. I was respected for my abilities. It was one of my proudest moments in my life. I want to touch upon a couple of areas. First is, since the theme is Valentine, I think we need to learn to develop self-love. Okay? So what I feel is, we are living in a world of so much disturbance. I read a quote somewhere, we are living in the era of smartphone and stupid people. Okay. So there is so much disturbance around, and most of the time we are trying to seek love from outside. So in my personal experience, I feel we start looking love within. When we start looking love within, we will start attracting love outside. And many times, more and more we start loving ourselves, this leads to happiness. And many times we are worried about unnecessary things. To tell you a story, so two guys called Ramesh and Raju met in the railway station. Ramesh was weeping. So Raju asked him, why are you weeping? Then Ramesh said, my first uncle died a couple of months back and he left 5 lakhs in my name. Then Raju said, then why are you weeping? Then Ramesh said, my second uncle died a couple of weeks back and he left 3 lakhs in my name. Then Raju said, then you should be happy, you should celebrate, then why are you weeping? You know what was the answer from Ramesh? Ramesh said, I am weeping because I had only 2 uncles. So we are not happy with what we have. We want so many things which God has not given. So the moral of the story is, be happy with what we have. In 2015, Dalai Lama was launching a course in London, What Matters Most. And there was one lady who came onto the stage. So she was on a lot of pain and she was on crutches. And she was bedridden and highly depressed. And when she enrolled the course, and after completing the course, it changed her life. So she found a meaning that by helping others, there is some value. And Dalai Lama embraced her. And when people asked Dalai Lama, what is the most important thing to be happy in the life? Without hesitation, Dalai Lama said, a warm heart. All we need today is just extend a warm heart to everyone. So that is very, very important. so that we help each other and we live in that kind of love, oneness, and friendship. So, next topic is we need to learn how to handle our worries. Like if you look at all the animals, they don't worry at all. They live moment to moment. Do you agree or not? Whereas we humans only we keep worrying because we have ability to think. Always we keep worrying about future, what's going to happen. Or we start ruminating about the past. Either two things will be done. Either we'll be worrying about the past that has happened, or we'll keep worrying about future. Okay, so more and more we start practice in this kind of world of disturbance, a mindful living. That's very, very important. When I say mindful living, what exactly? We need to learn and develop a mindset without worrying too much about past and what's going to happen tomorrow. So let me tell you one humorous story. You might have heard also. There was two sages, one teacher and another disciple were going in the forest. And when they were going in the forest, they came across a lake where there was a woman who was drowning in the lake and was screaming for the help. So the teacher, without hesitation, he jumped to the lake, saved the woman, carried her on his head, and left her on the shore, continued the journey. The student was very much worried. Why, being a sage, my teacher touched woman? Okay, we are ascetic people. We are not supposed to touch women. And he was thinking all this throughout the distance. And after a while, after a few kilometers, he couldn't control his unhappiness. And he asked his teacher, "Teacher, why did you carry woman on your head?" And teacher said, "I carried woman on my head and left her there, but you are still carrying in your head." So, like this, we are worried about unnecessary things in our life. Okay? So, let us learn how to take life one day at a time. Somewhere I read a beautiful analogy called, we need to take one grain of sand at a time, one task at a time. Like if you see the hourglass, hope all of you know hourglass clearly, and hourglass has got 1,000 grains of sand. But every time, only one grain of sand goes through the narrow neck. So, you and me cannot make even one extra grain of sand to pass through that narrow neck of hourglass. Like that, when we get up every day, there is so many tasks which we have to accomplish. And if we start breaking our head, it will destroy our mental and physical structure. So best is take like one grain of sand, how it passes. Take one task at a time and let the day pass slowly and evenly till the night, and you can accomplish the task. So that would be a great lesson, and I thought it's a great wisdom in handling our day like that. Coming to the third area, we always have this kind of scarcity mindset. I don't have this, I want better job, I don't have good job, I don't have good income, I don't have wonderful family, so many things. As long as we live in this scarcity mindset, we always live in a state of wanting more. Okay, so what I personally suggest is we need to develop a growth-oriented mindset. Unless we develop a growth-oriented mindset, we can't see the abundance and prosperity in the universe. Like I'll ask you a question. If you take 1 teaspoon of water from ocean, does it make any difference? So like that, there is abundance in the universe. Unfortunately, we stop comparing ourselves within, and we are not unable to understand the laws of universe. There is a lot of abundance in prosperity, and everyone can live abundantly and prosperously. So that is very, very important in today's situation. So next is we need to take charge of our life and enjoying our life. Unless we take charge of our life and enjoy our life, who will give an enjoyment? And unless we are accountable our life, and unless instead of comparing to others. So like we need to remove all our limitations, whether it is limitation in the body or limitations in the mind. Like example, I'll tell you, there was a research done. It's an experiment they did. They took flies, they put them in the glass jar, and they closed the glass jar, and they wanted to see how the flies fly. So because the glass jar is closed, the fly used to go and hit the glass jar and used to come back. So every time they used to go and come down, they used to go up and come down. So they wanted to see what will happen if you remove the glass lid. They remove the opening of the glass lid and they made an opening. Now the flies, instead of crossing out of the bottle, they even though the glass bottle was open, they didn't cross. They used to go up and come down. They used to go up and come down. So they got so much conditioned to their limiting belief. We call them as limiting belief, limitations. They had thought this is the maximum limit I can fly. So this is what has happened to us. We have put some limits in for us. We should break that limits. If you break that limit, the world will be, we should think life is limitless. So when we break that limit, the world and life looks limitless and we can explore multiple possibilities and lead a life of fulfillment, life of enjoyment. Okay? So if you heard of Stephen Hawking, who couldn't even speak for so many years and who became so much world famous, he says in his quote, I have always tried to overcome my limitations of my conditions. And he was a physically disabled person and who couldn't even speak. So he says, I have always tried to overcome my limitations and enjoy my life as full as possible. I had traveled around the world from Antarctica to zero gravity. Perhaps one day I will go into the space. So this is the kind of words a person as Stephen Hawking, who became world famous, who was a differently abled person and who couldn't even speak, can say. So this is something everyone can think, whether they are abled or differently abled. The life is limitless. Okay? So before I conclude, one day everyone has to leave this world. So all we have to do is let's play our role of this in this life and try to leave some footprint as much as possible and lead a meaningful life. So thank you very much for giving me opportunities.